promotes gardening in the community through education and assisting in the growth and development of green spaces on Sunday, September 30th, 9 to 2 p.m. at the Glenwood Sunday Market. They will again host the Garden of Treasures, which is a fundraiser for the Adopt the Public Way Grants program for Rogers Park Gardeners Group. You can look this up online, of course. If you have questions, you can call Greg Beckett. His phone number is 312-375-6269. But they're taking both donations, those extra pots and trellises and anything related to growing stuff they'd love to have, because they're going to sell them in their treasures, what do they call it? The Garden of Treasures, the fundraiser. So that's Sunday, September 30th, and right at the Glenwood Sunday Market, which of course gets better and better as the harvest grows. So come on out to the market and check out the Rogers Park Garden Group. Hey, gals.
Hi.
Good morning. We have our good friends Jean Bryan and Beth
Berger Martin.
Okay. Berger Martin.
Which, if I can say, the Rogers Park Garden Group is really a worthwhile effort. Great stuff. So
Yes, it is. I've given things and I've gotten things at those events.
the problem is I always get more things than what I've given, and it works against me.
I know, that's how those things go. Same thing with the flea markets when they do that. I love that you've got a picture for me to see.
I know,
Of
I brought
course,
pictures for the
Did someone
radio.
tell you that it was radio? And I'm happy that it's radio. Usually I dress for radio. Look at
Well,
those
I thought
cute
you might like to
chicks.
see at least one of the
Joe-
yards we're talking about here.
Joe told you he will show it on the. Yes, if you turn it around, it'll wind up on YouTube in some form or fashion. Joe Eisbacher was talking about chickens. Did he talk to you? When somebody he knows was given 2 chickens, and they thought, great, and we're waiting for action until after about 2 weeks, one of them got up in the morning and cock-a-doodle-dooed.
Yep.
So how is it having chicks, you gals?
Hey,
Easy.
this is great.
Easy.
Easy.
It makes me happy.
That's the best. That's what I've heard.
My husband and I just recently adopted 2 puppies, and I cannot believe how much work dogs are. Chickens are effortless, and they are
that's
the gift that keeps on giving. They give you eggs. Occasionally, they want a little scratch on the back. You can teach them tricks. Our chickens do tricks.
Really? What kind of tricks? Roll over? Play dead?
They play dead very well. They also will do tricks for dry roasted mealworms. So this is something people can see if they want to come to the coop tour. Chicken tricks.
Oh, yeah, they jump up too really
Yes.
high to get a piece of lettuce or something like that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
But they don't fly, right?
No, they fly.
They fly.
A little bit.
Yeah.
They can fly up into a tree. They can fly up 8 feet. They can certainly leave our property.
And do they?
No, because as I say, good luck, chicken, finding a sweeter home than this one.
Right.
Indeed.
My niece and her new husband, the newlyweds in my family, also have chickens in their backyard on the southwest side. So what is this coop tour? Every time I read it, I want to say co-op, it's tricky. It's not about
no
co-op,
hyphen.
it's the coop tour.
It's the Windy City Coop Tour, and it's next weekend, Saturday, September 22nd, and Sunday the 23rd. And some coops are going to be open on Saturday, and some coops are going to be open on Sunday, and some coops are going to be open both days.
Uh-huh.
But if you go to the website, you can print the map and the homes that will be open on
either day.
either day or
And-
both days.
Right, and that is at chicagochickens.org. Chickens, that's plural, chicagochickens.org.
But speaking of co-op coops,
Yes.
there are co-op coops.
Perfect.
So,
So
you can
the
really
coop
get
coop.
tongue-tied.
Yeah, I know.
There are people who didn't necessarily want to care for chickens themselves and wanted to do it in a group, and so we do have a co-op coop in my neighborhood. Unfortunately, it is not open for the
the
coop
tour?
tour this year. But anyone who's interested in raising chickens, if they're not brave enough to pioneer it on their own, they can do it in a group.
That was actually the first coop that I saw on this very chicken tour. And I went over with a neighbor of mine and I said, I can do that.
I wonder what number 18 is on that one, because that looks like where my niece lives.
Number 18 is down at
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking at the map that you can print out probably if you go to this website, www.chicagochickens.org, and it's so cool. We've got 3 stops in our neighborhood.
Yeah, there's 2 in the 49th ward and 1 in the 50th ward. So,
I love it.
I'm the 50th ward, my husband and I, and so yeah, there's a big cluster on the north side this year.
There's, it's a far cry from a few years ago when Martha Boyd, who I know is active with y'all, and we had to put together a whole day of let's explain to people what it is to have chickens, because there was a move in the city council to possibly outlaw it simply because one alderman didn't get the concept, and so she was ardent in figuring out how to educate the city council on this.
Well, I don't think that's died either. It's
still
out
an
there.
issue?
It's still out there.
In what form?
The concern, I don't believe, was ever alleviated, really. There are periodic attempts to bring that back, and so that's one of the reasons why Martha and all the rest of us feel that it's so important for us to open up our homes to show how insignificant it is to keep chickens and how easy it is. And, you hear awful rumors out there about factory farm chickens and,
Right.
the smell and the stench and the disease. When you keep a small backyard flock, you don't have any of those issues. Our chickens come when we call them. They're always excited to see us. They know their names. They love humans because they think we're always packing a treat, which we usually are. So, they're really interesting to interact with, much more interactive than you could really imagine. But that's the point of this, is to make it clear.
Yeah, I would never guess that as a total city kid. What do we know?
And so am I. So and then I married a man from Idaho, so life changed for me. But it is
Good move.
Yeah, it was an excellent move. I'm sure he likes hearing that now announced on the radio.
Yay. Good.
But it's easy, it's effortless, it's not dirty, and it's not smelly, and you get fresh eggs every morning. The chickens are entertaining. One of the stories we love to tell people is we have ivy growing over our fence that has been there for, I'm sure, 80 years, as long as our house has been here. And we have an evergreen tree in our backyard that gives the chickens cover. Well, beyond the evergreen tree, periodically we'd see their little heads popping up over the top of the tree. And we couldn't figure out what they were doing. Well, when we went out there, all the ivy was stripped 3 feet down. They'd eaten all the leaves.
Oh, wow.
So they were percolating. They were jumping up to get the leaves further up on the fence.
Wow.
So you never know how a chicken can entertain you.
Yep.
How long do chickens live?
Well, no one really knows because they aren't often allowed to live out their full lives.
Right.
So
Probably not really much longer than 5 or 6 years.
and
That would
are
be a
they
very old
laying
chicken.
the entire time that they're alive?
Yes, but mostly. There are chickens that have been said to live 10 years, but by that time they probably aren't laying. Within 5 years, they're probably still laying, but maybe they're laying 1 egg every week or 2 weeks instead of 5 to 7 a week.
So, Jean, you have how many chickens in your backyard?
I have 4 chickens now.
And how many eggs do you get from that little gaggle? Oh, no, I'm
Alrighty.
sure it's not a gaggle, that's goose. What?
Flock.
A flock of hens?
A flock of hens, and I do only have hens. I have 2 older hens, so I'm getting probably maybe 2 eggs from them a week. And then the younger hens, I'm getting probably 6 eggs a week from each of them, 5 or 6 from
Well, that's
them.
all the eggs you'd need, right?
It's more than actually we need. And so both my husband's and my mother's are very happy that
Happy
we have
recipients.
eggs, that we have chickens, and some of the neighbors are very happy that we have chickens.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And there's nothing like a fresh egg.
Really,
There
that's
is
so true.
nothing like a fresh egg.
That's true.
Yep.
And how many hens do you have?
We have 4 as well, and all girls, and we combine 2 flocks.
Aren't hens
at one point.
always girls?
Yes,
Hens
but
are.
people sometimes buy a hen, and
I'm
it turns out not
exposing
to
my
be one.
urbanness. Okay, I don't know nothing. Go ahead, say that again.
Sometimes people think they're buying hens or pullets, young females, and what they end up with is a cockerel. So, sometimes you can't entirely be sure when they're young.
We don't have to get technical here, but is there any reason to have a male of the species in your backyard?
Only if you want to start hatching eggs.
I see.
If you want to only eat eggs, then
I
it's
gotcha.
best not to have a boy around.
Best not to.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. That's right. Well, I love the Windy City Co-op Coop Tour. See, I did it again. Logo with the little hens marching around the would-be Chicago flag. What's the next step for organizing folks who have these backyard coops?
Well, we're continuing to look for more people to join our Google group, which we should mention here, which is Chicago Chicken Enthusiasts on Google. And the benefit of that is Jean and I actually connected. We live very close by each other, but we didn't know one another. But we had a little hen wandering our neighborhood that another neighbor caught, and I put it on the Chicago Chicken Enthusiasts Google group that if anyone had lost a bantam hen, or if no one claims it, did someone want it? Jean wanted it. So we connected, we met each other that way, and then it turned out that Jean couldn't keep her, and so we found another person to rehome her with who named her Tiny, and she is doing wonderfully well.
Cool. And our third partner here at the Heartland also keeps chickens in their backyard. Tom and the entire family enjoy the hens. Denise, I just blanked on Denise's name for a second there. So in this map that you have, it's pretty impressive that there are this many coops to visit, because I know there are many more coops that are not on this list. So we got a lot of chickens being raised in Chicago.
We do indeed. Nobody really knows how many, but the Google group that Beth mentioned is really a great way if you're concerned about whether or not you know what you're doing. Certainly check chicagochickens.org, because we've got a list to a link there to the Google group, and you can join the Google group. There is also a training coming up on how to raise chickens, and that's coming up at Angelic Organics, which is where Martha Boyd works. And so that's a really good resource for people who are interested in raising chickens.
You don't have to have chickens to join the Google group. If you're thinking you might want to, join the Google group. I mean, you'll learn from us talking about one another.
And we're out of time. It's 10 a.m. I'm sorry. The Windy City Co-op Coop Tour is next weekend, and you can check it out on www.chicagochickens.org. I want to thank everybody who makes this show possible. This is Live from the Heartland. We've been here for about 20 years, and we're sticking to it every Saturday morning. Paul, Mary, Angel, Kim, Lisa, Laura, my partner Michael James, our engineer downtown, Jay. Thanks everybody for bringing this show to the air. Keep doing the good that you are. The world needs all the good you can do. All power to the people. Over and out.